Welcome to the ZEM GOES USA Talkshow, a global live stream where we follow the TU Ecomotive team on their journey. Exclusive content, live Q&A, and the latest news. And today, I will be joined by Nikki Akkels from the TU Ecomotive team, Lars Holster from the TU Ecomotive team, Tessa van Eden from the TU Ecomotive team, and Louise de Laat from the TU Ecomotive team. We will also establish a live connection to many more speakers and of course our reporter on location, Luc van Ooyen, who will update us on the tour. The TU Ecomotive team will wake up extra early to answer all your questions, so join us. Let's step into the future of sustainable mobility. Welcome to the third and last episode of the ZEM GOES USA Talk Show. Today is all about the arrival. The first two episodes were about the team in America. We had a live connection, but that's not necessary anymore because they're back in town. We're going to talk with the team. If you have any questions for the team, let me know. On the right side of your screen, there's a comment section. Ask away, ask us anything, how they feel, what they like the most, anything, and we'll talk about it. But first, I'm going to go to my colleague, Luc van Ooyen. Welcome back, Luc.
Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back.
We haven't seen each other in weeks. I think it was 5-6 weeks or so.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
For the people who don't know you, what was your role with the TU Ecomotive team?
I think my biggest role was having contact with the events we were doing there and helping planning the event, the tour in the USA, also in bit like details like hotels and that kind of things. So I think that was my biggest role, like before having contact with the events and of course on the tour, making sure everything goes right.
Yeah, because you were like responsible for the car being there, the people that were like hosting the events knew you were coming, what time and stuff, and also where you slept.
Yeah. So I was responsible for the contact with the events. They organized a lot of events there at universities, at companies, and I had contact with them on forehand.
Yeah, and now you're back. How are you feeling? Still jet lagged? Because you've been back for a couple of days now.
Yeah, I'm back now for 5 days or something. So the jet lag is quite gone after this weekend. Last week it was pretty hard. I had a pretty hard time with the jet lag, especially if you compare it to when I went. It was way less. So now it was way more.
Yeah. Hey, and I don't know if you have already had the time to reflect on your journey. What stood out the most? What was the most fun event, or the thing that made the most impact, or the most beautiful city?
I think if I think about the events, I think NXP was a really good event. I think we made impact on a lot of I think quite cool people who are like doing this with the chips and that kind of things. So, and it was organized great. So there were a lot of people, a lot of audience who want to see the car, and I think that was a great event. And we also we got a little tour in their manufacturing.
Oh, cool.
So that was also really interesting, like this semiconductor space, like how are they built, like you saw, it was quite interesting to see.
So you learned a lot there.
Yeah.
And you worked mainly or a lot with Peter and Ellen.
Yeah.
How was it working with them?
Yeah, no, it was great working with Peter and Ellen from the Coast to Coast Foundation. It was really a relaxed way of working. Peter was really busy with all the events, so he helped me a lot in that. And Ellen also helped me a bit around the events, how to plan the tour. So it was great working with them.
Yeah, and you actually stayed at Peter's house, right? You slept there for a couple of days or so, and he lives at this wonderful place, right?
Yeah, actually 2 times I slept at Peter's house, and he lives on a mountain in the forest of Santa Cruz. So there was you can really calm down there. Right. Get a bit of rest. That's great at Peter's house.
Well, actually, and Peter will be joining us later today to talk about his experience with the team. Anything else to add? Have you made some friends with the TU Ecomotive team?
It was surprisingly nice to. It was less surprisingly. It was really nice. It was really nice to hang out with them. Also, in the time you're free, No, it was really good, really good.
Good. Well, good to know. And you actually made a video for us.
Yeah.
I think it's one of your first Luc van Ooyen original videos.
yeah. It's my first video I made myself.
Yeah.
So don't be too hard on me.
And what can we expect? What's in the video? Is it your experience? Is it the scenery or?
Yeah, I filmed a lot with my phone during the tour, and I thought it's nice to have a bit of perspective from the timeline of the tour and what we did, and also some bit behind the scenes, that kind of things.
Yeah, well, Luc, welcome back. You can go back to work now because we need you here. We're going to watch your video, and then I will be joined by the TO Ecomotive team here at the table. So let's look at the Luc van Ooyen's experience in America.
Find my extra chocolate donuts, and I'll have my strawberry sprinkle donuts.
Well, I think it's fair to say that Luc had a good time. Without further ado, I'm going to welcome the guests here at the table. It's all about them. I'm joined here by Lars. Welcome. And of course, Nikki and Louise.
Yeah, hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
We're going to take it slow today. We all have some jet lag going on. Lars, I'm going to start with you.
Yes.
How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Very tired.
Yeah, I see some tired eyes here. Is it your first time a jet lag, or how do you experience it?
No, it's not my first time having a jet lag, but I think my jet lag has never been worse because I think we have had a couple of weeks which were very busy, and especially the last couple of days has been very busy, very little sleep. So that's why the jet lag came to me.
Yeah, and across the table from you ladies, how are we feeling? How are we doing?
Yeah, tired as well, but today I already had my first final bachelor project day. I'm graduating this year, and that was at the company itself. So I had to prep myself like, hey, I'm here, awake. But yeah, it was pretty tough, but I think that will keep me a little bit in the flow and forget the jet lag.
Yeah, because if you're at home, you're just going to look at the time and get sleepy. Well, and Nikki, I heard you were how do you say it? People were at the airport for you, and you
Yeah.
actually received some gifts as well.
My parents were waiting for me at the airport, and they thought I missed cheese so much because I really love cheese. They brought some cheese with them from home, and also the stroopwafels and
Of course.
the pepernoten, of course, because they're already in store, and they were waiting for me there. It was very fun to see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think your grandparents are watching as well.
I think so.
So
I
hi,
think
grandparents of
so.
Nikki. It's nice that you're watching. So what is the first thing you do when you get home after such a trip? Like you've been away for weeks now, in such an adrenaline phase of your life. What was the first thing you started doing?
Answering all the questions that my family had.
Yeah.
They first forced me to sleep in the car. So I was like, no, I want to be awake and answer all your questions on the way back because I had to drive to Nijmegen. It's an hour and a half. And they said, no, we took a blanket and a pillow for you. Go sleep and you'll be more awake. So I had another hour of sleep in the car. Yeah.
Yeah, because you actually arrived yesterday morning, right?
Mhm.
So you have had one night of sleep
Yes.
since you're back. All right, that's pretty tough. And on the last days, because the last time on the second episode you were still at Richard's place. Maybe we can zoom in a little bit on that part of the tour. What did you guys do after that? What's some of the things that you liked most doing after that? Maybe you, Lars.
Yeah, so I think last time we were at Richard's place, and then we went to some schools that day, which was very inspiring. After that, we went to the Central Valley. So, for example, went to University of Merced and also to Fresno. There we met a lot of people, for example, students, which are doing the same things as us. We are meeting a lot of boards from universities, for example, in Merced, and also went to San Francisco to have an interview at CNET, to visit UC Berkeley. And furthermore, then we drove back towards the East Coast, which we actually split up as a team. A part flew to also take over after the other people drove. And then we finished in New York, which is actually has seen some great moments, some very unexpected moments as well, which maybe we'll talk about later.
Is there an example that comes
Yeah,
to mind?
so what I actually very much enjoyed were some unexpected moments on this tour, which actually also happened after in Gonzales self, after Richard Tavener's place.
Yeah.
So, for example, the first one I can think of is in Gonzales, when we were driving from the elementary school towards the high school, we were stopped by police. They were wondering, what are we doing here with this car? What is this? Are you making some weird situations around here? We explained it, and they were very cool about it. And then we asked, do you want to make a picture with us? And I quite enjoyed such an unexpected moment. Gave very fun moments. And furthermore, another one I can think of is when we were having a photo shoot at with the Manhattan skyline in the background. A lot of other people had the same thing in mind as well, which was actually some girls with not too much clothes on, and they were shooting some kind of rap video with Lamborghinis, Ferraris. And we asked them, do you want to make a picture or videos with our car as well? So we invited them, and they actually really loved it. And they actually came up with a scene they wanted to do with our car themselves. So I really enjoyed those kind of unexpected moments.
So we can expect a rap video with the ZEM car in it.
Yeah, of course. And,
Cool.
Maybe also a calendar, which is not suited for kids, but we'll see what happens, of course. And on the very last day, a moment which I also very much liked was the fact that we went to a very Porsche polo club just an hour outside of New York, and there we were invited by also a news outlet to join a very rare car gathering. So we were there with a lot of imported people and very expensive cars, and then we were invited by this news outlet to also put ZEM in the middle of all those cars. So that got some videos and pictures which were very interesting to me, to have all those expensive cars, all those people who can only think about having those loud important expensive cars, and then ZEM is in the middle. And they were very intrigued also by our story. So that's something I liked as well.
Yeah, because I can imagine, like, if you've been away for like so many weeks and it's like a whole press tour, so you have to like be your best at all times, show the car, and of course it's exciting, but I can imagine it's also pretty tough on your mentally and physically, maybe. Louisa, how did you experience all those weeks away?
Yeah.
How do you look back at it? Was it all good energy, or was it sometimes pretty hard to get out of bed? Or
No, to be honest, it's the roller coaster of emotions and experience what you make as a team. You get to know each other also a little bit more differently because we were first focusing on finishing the car ZEM, prepping up for the last events that we had for our partners, but also our family and friends, and then again preparation for the shipment of our car to America. And over there was also a lot of things that went wrong because we had to divide already very early stage our team, and that is something that at the end we thought maybe that was the best alternative to do, but you also recognize that the team dynamic will change because of that. And but I think we can say from each other that we learned from each other while doing this, and also for yourself. Like, it was a really nice reflection what you could have as a group, and also the honest conversation that you had with the team and one-on-one was very valuable.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because how long have you guys known each other as a team?
I joined in December. You were there already before, so you knew the people earlier, and you...
I also joined in November, December, but I think the whole team gathered exactly 1 year ago, something like this.
Oh, yeah.
No.
All right. So I thought you guys knew each other for like years as a student group or classroom or something. But
no, that is something that also is very different among the different student teams that we have here at the TU Eindhoven. Our solar team, for instance, they work 2 years with each other and then go to a tour. And we are now working less than a year with each other and then already quickly go to a tour on the other side of the ocean. And that brings each other way closer, but also, you get some new challenges that you didn't expect that were there.
Yeah, because it's the whole concept. You guys have built a car, you've shipped it to America, which can be pretty intense itself, I guess. You toured around the whole country. I can see how that's pretty much an experience. What's the first thing you tell the people if they ask you how it was, Nikki?
Crazy, because it was so busy, and it was sometimes I didn't even know where I was anymore. So the cities, especially when we had to travel a lot from Austin back to the West Coast, I really didn't know where I was sleeping that night, and I couldn't care less. So we were just driving, sometimes even 12 hours a day, and then you're so tired when you get there. So it's crazy, the entire experience of the driving itself, all the events directly afterwards. That was the first thing that came to mind, but also, of course, all the events, mostly the educational events were really, I really enjoyed them. The kids, to see them all really see this car, and
because they were pretty young kids as well, right?
Yeah, so we had the elementary school, which I think from 5 to 8 sometimes, and they just asked the questions, how hard can it go and what is it made of? And we had this example where we had the plastic bottle, so the PET bottle, and we can say that ZEM is made from this bottle. That was a great example to give to the kids, and they were really also so excited about the pineapple leather. So this is really made from pineapple. One kid asked if they can eat it. So it was really cute to see. And
did he try?
Also,
No.
maybe another interesting question which you don't often get, I think, from adults, but this kid asked, is it bulletproof?
Yeah,
so,
but it also tells something about the neighborhood we were in.
Yeah, true. It was quite an underdeveloped neighborhood, so it's quite an interesting question to get from a child.
Yeah, that's actually quite educational as well. Like, maybe we need to take that into account as well for some people, I guess. But because how was it like? Because you guys are all really technical into the car and stuff, but then you go to these kids and they ask you just how fast does it go. Did you also get to like tell the whole story about how it works, all the cool aspects, the 3D printing, the carbon filter, if I say it correctly? Did you talk a lot about that as well with kids?
You just do it on a way different level. You just adapt the story to the people you're talking to, and when you go to a university, you can really deep into the subject, and it will ask very smart questions. And then you have the engineers answering all these questions, so you have the mechanicals talking to the mechanicals. But if it's more a general story to, for example, the kids, you'll just have to tell, so the air will really get cleaner when our car drives, and they will already be so excited about that story.
Yeah, and that's actually, I think
that's also like an interesting part about this tour. that we addressed a lot of parts of society. So, for example, we've had these children, but we've also had, for example, in Columbus, the university with like the same kind of people as we are, people in student teams, and they ask a lot of different questions, and they went to so many parts of the country, so many parts of society. I think that's really interesting what we did.
Yeah, and how does it feel now? Like now you've been 5 weeks hyper focused on all of this. Is it weird to now empty your mind or to feel this adrenaline calm down, or how do you feel now about
I think we still have to reflect and get onto normal life and look back at it and
Yeah, and I'm really curious because the whole world was watching. That's why we're live streaming as well. So people in America are watching right now. It's good morning there. Here it's afternoon, if I say correctly. And about the world, we actually collected some of the media outputs we could find on YouTube. So we're gonna have a look at that.
We're called Ecomotive. We've existed now for 10 years. And our team is about shaping the future of mobility.
หนึ่งในทางเลือกช่วยรักษาสิ่งแวดล้อมในปัจจุบันก็คือการเปลี่ยนมาใช้รถยนต์พลังงานไฟฟ้าที่ไม่ปล่อยมลพิษทางอากาศครับแต่เพื่อให้เหนือไปอีกขั้นหนึ่งนะครับล่าสุดนี้เลยมีทีมพัฒนาต้นแบบ
Automakers around the world are pouring billions of dollars into developing and building vehicles that don't emit greenhouse gases while on the road. But what if your car could do one better, actually removing carbon from the atmosphere as it drives? That's the goal of the team of researchers from the Netherlands behind the ZEM.
The students are currently showing their vehicle on a U.S. promotional tour to universities and companies from the East Coast to Silicon Valley.
अभी का समय ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर के लिए व्यापक बदलाव वाला चल रहा है। पूरी दुनिया में इलेक्ट्रिक कार्स और हाइब्रिड कारों समेत परिवहन के ऐसे विकल्पों की बात चल रही है जो एनवायरनमेंट को कम से कम नुकसान पहुंचाते हो। इस घटनाक्रमों के बीच नीदरलैंड के एक कॉलेज के विद्यार्थियों ने कमाल कर दिया है। इन विद्यार्थियों ने एक ऐसी कार डेवलप की है जो एनवायरनमेंट को कम से कम नुकसान पहुंचाने की बात तो छोड़िए बल्कि पर्यावरण।
And finally, Dutch students from Eindhoven University of Technology have created what could be the world's most sustainable all-electric car.
Die Batterien sollen schon jetzt zu 95% recycelbar sein. Das 3D-gedruckte Chassis besteht aus Recyclingplastik. Wenn ein Hersteller das Auto produzieren wolle, sei man natürlich dabei, so die Konstrukteure. Realistischer sei allerdings, dass einzelne Innovationen übernommen würden, etwa die Technologie zur Kohlenstoffabscheidung.
È il risultato di un anno di sviluppo di 35 studenti dell'Eindhoven Technological University che hanno creato ZEM. È quindi un'auto completamente elettrica con zero emissioni, che raccoglie e memorizza anche l'anidride carbonica presente nell'aria.
Car actually eats emissions while it drives. That, my friends, is the future of technology. And you've got to say, if this is the future of technology, wow, what a time to be alive.
That's nice.
Well, as you can see, we weren't lying. The whole world is actually watching. I think it was India, China, Germany, America, of course. How does it feel to see like that you're doing something that the whole world is watching, Louise?
Yeah, that's amazing. It's also really impressive to see it right now because everything is going so fast. And while you're at the USA, you are focusing on what's happening there. And you don't know what the impact of one of our media press moments that we had with Reuters or CNN really had as an impact over the rest of the world. So yeah, that's really cool to feel like, whoa, we did this as a team, also with a lot of inexperienced students, and yeah, by still gaining the impression like, whoa, a group of researchers, like, whoa, we are still students, but yeah, that's a very big compliment.
Yeah, and actually we got a reaction on, I think it's LinkedIn. Hugo Steiner says, welcome back, Louise. And of course, the rest of the team. So,
great.
Yeah, thank you, Hugo.
Yeah, bye, Hugo. Tot snel.
So yeah, and also for you guys, like, how does it feel? Like you're doing something, you built something, you promoted something, the whole world is watching, the whole industry is watching. How does that feel? Like, does it give you more energy? You want to do more with it? Does it scare you? I don't know who wants to answer it, but
yeah, we have some really cool things coming still. So we know that it was already really busy in the US for the media and everything, but there will be way more. So we have more interviews planned. We have a German TV show that wants to film at our location. So I think the story can grow even more, and that's one thing I really enjoy. Yeah.
I think adding to that is it's absolutely amazing, of course, and of course continuing on the quote you heard the guy say in the last video, what a time to be alive. We are still not finished. We can do so much more, and what we already have achieved is absolutely amazing, and we will be achieving much more, I think.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys know, but where's the car now? Is it on the way back? Is it still in America?
It is still in America.
Yeah,
yes.
so it's currently being shipped back to the Netherlands, and it's being scheduled to arrive in the port of Rotterdam on the 6th of November.
And I guess it's not going to just stand in a garage. There's things happening to the car. Do any of you know what's going to happen now?
Yeah, directly after ZEM arrives, we'll be going to Munich to have an event there, an electronics event together with New Ways. So
cool.
We'll be going there directly after.
And will it be showcased around the world still? Will it stay in the Netherlands, or do you know?
Well, we already had some comments from, for example, our partners that we could combine this event in Munich, with a sort of kind of Europa tour. So we could go to some other automakers in Germany, for example, or and go back then via Paris and Brussels to the Netherlands. So a lot of possibilities still.
Yeah, of course, because the car exists, so why not broadcast it to the world? All right. Is there anything we really have to talk about? What experience that we can't miss out on today on? What was something people at home should really know happened? An event, someone you met, a fun thing where you stayed, or a city that you must go to, some tourist advice? Is there anything?
The Rio Linda event has had a lot of impact on me, and I think some others of the group as well. So Rio Linda is the school in a neighborhood where there's a lot of troubles, and we were there, and the kids were so happy to see the car, see us as a team. It was the cutest thing. They made drawings of everyone, so the portrait drawings. Everyone has their own portrait now, made by one of the kids there, and it was so amazing to have to show what is possible here. And some of them also want to build cars later, and that's really a part of what we also want to do as TU Ecomotive. Just show what the possibilities are, how 35 undergrads did this in a year, and that they can do it as well in 10 years. So that was one thing that made very much impression.
Next to that, we also had a lot of questions. Oh, is the car for sale or not? I think that was not the goal where we went there to the United States, was really to impress a lot of broader public, and to really showcase what a group of undergrads can do in less than a year. And go big or go home. That's the effect that the Americans also have, and that's something that we also can say that we did as a team. So that's where I'm really proud of. Yeah.
About to round it up. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, so I can maybe also adding on to the Rio Linda, I also like the Gonzales, for example, but also NXP. It was greatly organized, but for example, these people will finally see a full implementation of their work, and I quite enjoy the fact of thinking about someone who will be inspired by Dutch people going towards the United States and showing what their work actually could bring up. And only one engineer, for example, would have to be inspired and make a change, for example, in his own work. And I think, thinking about such a case is very interesting.
Yeah, and because you actually were talking about with 35 people, we did this in a year. Do you also have contact with the next team? Is there also going to happen something after this? There will be a new group of people, I guess.
Yes, they're already busy with it. There is already a next team within TU Ecomotive. And we are now in the transition period. So we as an old team are going to transit with the new team, give them also tips and feedback on what we learned from this experience. And some advice for their next adventure. They are still in the lead of their own project. So we only can give advice or nudge them towards a direction where we think they have more acceleration in. But it's very fun to see how another team from our next phase looks differently to other certain topics than we did. They have also other type of group of students, like more computer science, and that is something where we could dream of in our team, and they are more structured than we could even dream in the first period. So it's very nice to see how that transition already take place.
Yeah, and I think it's just because this has been going on for I don't know how many years, 10 years or so. I don't know how much years do you know?
10 years.
You were the 10th group.
No, we're the 7th group in 10 years.
All right, cool. And because you guys have all seen all the other cars?
Yeah, well, not in real
For
life, all
some
of
that
them.
are existing still, yeah.
Oh yeah, because I also like the modular one, like the
Yeah.
Nova,
interesting
I
as
think.
well, and the
Nova.
yellow one.
Nova.
I've seen.
Nova,
Oh,
yeah.
we saw that, of course, at the launch of the car. They were there, right? The other one
Luca was there, yeah, indeed. Yeah, Nova was the modular one.
Ah.
The circular one, Noah, we break down this year to see how circular it even was.
Oh, right.
So if we could reuse some parts for our existing car model, but yeah, it's really nice to see the legacy, and also from the team, the ISA team, the guy that participated there is now the CEO of Amber. So that is also nice to dream big and also see like, hey, where you as an individual can go within your personal future. So that's very nice.
Yeah, true. So yeah, we've already been here for 10 years and 7 concepts. And of course, this was our concept in a year with one team. But yeah, there's a new concept, a new team. And I think, our legacy will continue, of course.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm forgetting one of the most important questions. I just thought of it now. How was it meeting the Queen? Maybe we should talk about that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah?
So it was very special because we first had the Viviane Heine meeting us, and she was really interested in the project. And of course, we could unfortunately not have ZEM there, but we really told the message and what we stand for and what the car can all do. And she was so interested. We met up with her later, and she introduced us to others, and she was really nice.
Oh, cool.
And then the Queen came, and it was like 5 cars first, and then the Queen came, and then she talked to us for like 4 minutes scheduled. But it was very fun. Yeah.
Yeah, she's more beautiful in real.
Yeah. And what was the first thing you thought, we need to pitch this to the Queen? She needs to know this. Was it just your story? Was it the fun things about the car? What did you tell her?
Yeah, more about the future of sustainability and how we play a role in it. Also for the Netherlands, how this student team can still have a big impact all over the world, and our mission, why we were here in the United States. And she was also very interested in our car itself. So she was also, shame that I cannot see it right now live, but maybe in the future, who knows, we can drive with them on the grid with Maxima and visit her with them in Den Haag.
Would be cool.
Yeah,
would be cool. Who knows?
Yeah.
Actually, we have another comment from Ellen, who was here in the second episode of the ZEM Goes USA. She says, "Welcome back, guys. Hope to see you and the car in Eindhoven finally." Because the fun thing is, Ellen was part of this whole project the whole time and has never seen the car in real life.
Ellen meets ZEM tour, right?
Yeah,
as soon as possible.
We have an Ellen meets ZEM tour right now.
Yeah, maybe we can do that.
Yeah, Ellen goes to Eindhoven.
It will be 3 talk shows. We'll follow her on her road too. And actually, I think we've pretty much had it. If you have any question for the team, you have to let us know now. We'll be here for a couple more minutes, because we actually are joined by the last guest of today. And also in the intro, Tessa, we mentioned that Tessa would be here as well. But she got stuck in the train. Or welcome back to the Netherlands, I guess. So she couldn't be here. But Tessa, if you're watching, hi to you too. And then we're going to go to Peter from the Coast to Coast Foundation. Peter, it's very good to see you again. Can you hear?
Hello.
Can
you hear me?
That's perfect. Peter, how are you doing? I think you have a jet lag as well, right? I think we can hear you, but you cannot hear me.
Now I can. Yeah, it's a long distance, so that's why. Takes time.
Peter, I was asking you, how are you doing? I think you're jet lagged as well, right?
Yeah, well, I'm jet lagged all the time nowadays.
But you're fine. How are you? Because the project, the team is back. How are you feeling? Are you already reflecting on the tour?
I'm exhausted, but I would think that the team has exactly the same feelings about it. But no, overall, it was wonderful to have them and to see so many people respond positively to the team and to all the technology that they bring.
Yeah. And was there something that stood out to you? What are you most proud of on this edition?
Yeah, well, I think, on this edition, which we did different from the last, we've been doing this for about 10 years now. I'd say that this year we really focused on having more exposure to schools in underserved communities. And I believe on a Monday, so that's now 2 weeks ago, we reached out to 1,000 kids in underserved communities. I mean, that was like amazing.
Yeah.
All on one day. And California is a long, everything is far away, so it's a long trip. But everywhere the team went, there were whole groups of children waiting to see them. I think that that was the proudest moment.
Yeah, because actually I've seen a lot of footage, and in a lot of footage there were schools, children, and stuff. That was really it surrounded the whole project.
Yeah.
And how was it working with the team? And they're listening right now, so choose your words carefully. But,
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll be very careful then. No, the thing is, this is a very complicated mission, as we've seen with Stella and Storm, and even with bringing Lightyear a couple of years ago. It's complex to make sure that that every day you up at the time that you've agreed with the people that you've agreed. This is a massive undertaking, and then in addition, it's a concept car, right? Not everything functions right away, so sometimes you have to do repair work. Sometimes your hosts, prepare to have pizza for 30 people because I forget to communicate that we only will have a group of 4 students or 5 students. So at Ohio State, we had like pizza for a whole month. Okay, so not everything goes well. And and I'm part of that. So, but I think if you consider the fact that they had troubles getting the car from the boat into the harbor, I mean, just considering this, it's a wonderful accomplishment.
Yeah, and for Coast to Coast, what's next? Are you already in contact with we just talked about the next team, the next group of students. What's next?
Yeah, well, obviously, we've been doing this, typically every 2 to 3 years. So most likely next year would be a hard sell, also because the foundation is not in a financial position to do that every year. But we will evaluate this with the team and with the sponsors and see what we can do moving forward. I think the interaction between young people, innovation, policymakers, companies, this is very important. So, I think as long as there is a foundation, I can see us, look in trying to make this possible. Now, whether it's possible every year, like I said, I think that's going to be a hard sell. But I think that the project itself has over the years shown and demonstrated that it brings value to everyone involved.
Yeah, and I think if we just saw some worldwide media and the team here, I think you guys established a flawless project, and it worked, and the whole world watched with enthusiasm. And so I think you did a great job.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that if we look at what happened 10 years ago, I think there was one media outlet, really, maybe 2 or 3. They made it onto TV on ABC News at the time as well, but this time it seemed like there was media exposure every day, and that sort of helps to spread the word around, and also afterwards to make sure that everybody feels good about it, that they that this was happening, right? This worldwide media attention.
Yeah. Well, Peter, thank you very much for joining us with some last words, and I think the whole team is smiling here as well and is thanking you as well.
Yeah,
thanks, Peter.
Well, thank you, guys.
They're waving at you. If you can't tell, but they're waving at you.
I'm waving back. All right.
We'll see you the next time, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye. So we're about to round up because I see some tired eyes and I feel almost guilty to have you here, but I know you're glad to be here. But there's one more question, which is welcome back to Team Member Ecomotive. Sounds like it was a fun tour. What was the most important lesson you learned most from each other?
Ooh.
Who wants to kick this one off?
Maybe not a lesson, but being on tour with 14 of students who haven't known each other for more than half a year, maybe some of us. It's nice to get to know each other better. We were there for a long time. You were there for 7 weeks?
Yep, 7.5 weeks.
Yeah, I was there for 6.5. We were there for 6.5. And the rest of the team was there for 4 weeks. And it was just so fun to see everyone develop there as well. So develop skills like presenting skills, but also the talking to the kids, adjusting to the levels. And it was just super fun to see not only yourself develop, but also the others, like 13 others to watch. So it's always something happening.
Yeah. Maybe adding to that, of course, I've been there 7.5 weeks. I've been there with 4 guys in total. It was a long trip, and you learn each other well, and to make something happen and not fight each other after such a long time. You have to give and take and learn what everybody wants and what they don't want. And I think it has been going very good, and we held up pretty well.
Yeah,
Luis,
go
anything
with
to
the
add?
flow. That's really important also if a lot of unexpected things happening. But next to that, also divide more the responsibilities. I'm a very perfectionist as a character, and I really would like to do everything as best as possible for for the team as well, for the partners. And sometimes you are sitting in between, so that's very hard to really divide that among those two stakeholders. But I think what I learned the most is to really enjoy every moment of it, less of the pitfalls that we had. I think that makes us as a team even stronger, and also the tour and the experience that we had. So
Yeah. Well, I think those are some lessons you could have only learned while on the road. So I guess that's the once in a lifetime experience. And I think you're gonna have fun looking back at this webinar as well.
I know, for
in like
sure.
a year,
For sure.
looking at yourself and how you experienced everything. If that's it, I think we're just gonna round up. From me, I just want to thank you for having you here. It was an honor as Astra's as a sponsor to host 3 shows. It was really cool to watch. It was really fun to hear Luke's stories, what he was doing, and all the fun things he did with you. This Wednesday is his birthday.
Yeah.
Because I heard last show it was a struggle. You celebrated it like 3 times.
Just before I went here, I also asked Luke, "Hey, how was your birthday?" Because I thought he was on late his birthday. But for us as a team, I think we are also very glad that Astra has hosted this for us. Also for the event, the end event that we had. It was really nice that you guys could bring this overall story into one streamline. So thank you a lot for the support.
Yes, thank you.
It was our honor in my name and of course the team behind the curtain here. If that's it, we have to thank one more. Maybe the most important one is, of course, the people who are watching, who viewed the other webinars, because it will be a series. You can watch them all back. You guys can watch them all back in a couple of years or something.
Cool.
Thank you all. It was an honor. It was a great adventure, and good luck with the rest of it, because it's not over yet, right?
No.
Just starting.
Just starting.
Have a good day. Have a good evening, and thank you for watching to the ZEM Goes USA Talk Show.